Ladies and gentlemen, dear developers, good morning and welcome to day 3 of Huawei Connect 2020. 尊敬的各位来宾，现场还有线上的开发者朋友们，大家上午好。我是今天的主持人王丽欢。那今年呢，已经是我第5次
I'm Wang Lihuan, the MC of today. This is my 5th time as the MC of Huawei Connect. I'm very happy to see you face to face. It feels great. As Mr. Guo Ping, Huawei's rotating chairman, pointed out, connectivity, cloud, AI computing, and industry applications have all come together to create unprecedented opportunities for the ICT sector. Looking ahead, it is essential for industries to fully harness these digital technologies and build smarter industry applications. At the heart of this process is our developers. Since 2016, the number of Huawei ICT infrastructure developers has increased from 25,000 to 1.8 million, an increase of more than 70 times. It is the trust of developers and their unremitting efforts that converge the dripping water into a running river. Today, it's our privilege to invite some HC. Now, let's welcome Mr. Zheng Yelai, President of Huawei Cloud BU, and Mr. Deng Taihua, President of Huawei Computing Product Line, to announce the excellent developer partners of Huawei Developer Program 2.0 in 2020. Big applause. Now, please announce the list of excellent developer partners. The excellent developer partners of Huawei Developer Program 2.0 in 2020 are Tempo, Tech Education, Dassault Systems, Guangdong Flying Enterprise Internet Technology, Kingdee Software China, Shanghai Aishu, ThoughtWorks, Shenzhen Teamway Electric, Current Cat, and Yongyo Network. Congratulations. The excellent developer partners of Huawei Developer Program 2.0 in 2020 are Killingsoft, H3C, Run Technology, TalkWeb, Shenzhen IntelliFusion Technologies, iFlyTech, Beijing iCool Technology, AD-Link Technology, Beijing 4 Paradigm Technology, and Zhejiang University. Congratulations. I would like to congratulate all the winners, and I would like to invite all award winners to the stage. Big applauses to all the award-winning developers. All the guests on the stage, now please hold your hands and give a thumbs up. We will start the countdown from 3, 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up, please. Let's work together to start the new journey to a prosperous ecosystem. Thank you all. Please take a seat. Congratulations again to the award-winning developers. And thank you, Mr. Zheng and Mr. Deng.
Next, we're going to take a closer look at Huawei Cloud, but first of all, I want to share with you a story. Protecting the environment with technology has always been the vision of Huawei to realize a better inclusive world with cutting-edge technology. And there's a group of students in Shanghai at Tongji University. They have been leveraging these cutting-edge technologies to learn more about endangered species and human interference and at better protecting those endangered species and their ecosystem. So let's check out this video to learn more. 那接下来呢，首先让我们进入到华为云的环节。在这里呢，想跟大家分享一个故事。用科技守护环境，实现人和自然的和谐共生，是华为推动这个世界的成长和变革，实现数字包容的这样的一个美好的愿景。那就在我们上海呢，在同济大学有这样的一群大学生，他们正在通过技术手段帮助我们更好的、更高效的去监测濒危物种和人类干扰因素，更好的去守护这些物种和它们的栖息地。他们向我们揭示了我国珍贵水鸟的这样的一个生态的状况，让我们通过这段视频来了解它们。请看大屏幕。
我叫焦胜武，是中国林科院亚林所的一名科研工作者，在杭州湾湿地从事鸟类研究和保护工作已经有5个年头了。水鸟监测是一项体力活，因为大部分的监测工作需要我们徒步来完成，经常需要穿着不透气的雨鞋徒步行进。但是在现实过程中，我们依然会碰到许多地方无法到达、树木或者草丛的遮挡，以及距离太远无法识别等各种各样的问题。我经常在想，应该如何利用科技的手段来突破水鸟监测的人力瓶颈。
我们搜集了鸟类的图像数据，把它们上传到华为云 Model 2平台，对这些数据进行标注，并利用 Model 2平台提供的 AI 训练与计算能力，训练出水鸟检测和识别的模型。我们把部署了模型的 Highlands Kit 搭载到无人机上，在端侧进行实时的鸟类检测和识别。
有了这些科技，一些以前我们徒步无法深入的盲区，现在也可以监测到了。
基于水鸟动态数据，我们构建出湿地的数字孪生沙盘，来助力珍稀鸟类的保护和研究。看到这样的一个项目，它从一个点子逐渐落实到一个具体的真实的一个项目，然后能够收集到真实的数据，我非常激动。
接下来，我们将进一步携手华为云，运用放鹰系统采集水鸟大数据，挖掘水鸟分布和迁徙的规律，从而更好地支持湿地的规划和水鸟的保护。
我叫焦胜武，
我叫张和新，
我叫孙笑华，我是同济人。我用科技守护自然的美好。
谢谢，谢谢。
Thank you. More and more people have joined our developer community, including the guests here today. Welcome to HC 2020. In the video you just saw, 5 students from Tongji University used Huawei Cloud Model Arts, an AI development platform. Within a few months of training, their model was able to identify thousands of types of birds and build a digital twin for the wetlands. This was simply beyond our imagination. Today, my topic is growing with global developers for inclusive AI. In 2016, also on this stage, we believed the world entered the Cloud 2.0 era, meaning that it was not just the cloud-native internet companies, but traditional enterprises starting to migrate to the cloud services. Today, we can see various industries going digital, online, and intelligent. It's become a more pressing need among industries. The enterprises have entered the intelligent era. This means huge market opportunities to developers. every one of them can find their unique place to contribute value. We have talked to many of them. Their common challenges include the following. First, the developers want to have easy-to-use development tools and one-stop development process so that they can become more agile. Second, the developers want to get the most up-to-date technologies. Combining these technologies with their industry know-how, they are then able to innovate apps for the industries. Third, commercialization and monetization are always challenging. Internet app developers want more support to increase downloads of the apps and attract traffic to the apps. Enterprise app developers realize that with software as a service, value distribution is shifting from top clients to the mid and long tail. With this shifting distribution, how to adapt to the changes and create business value? We believe cloud-based development can help address all these three challenges. 3 years ago, when we launched the Huawei Cloud, I shared it with many friends that we had 3 objectives in mind. First, we wanted to monetize our ICT investments with cloud services. Second, we wanted to provide our 30 years of capabilities from supply to procurement to customers via cloud services. We want to provide such services to enterprise customers and other sectors. Third, we wanted to offer cloud services to Huawei internal IT and consumer business to support its global development. Over the past 3 years, tremendous progress has been made thanks to the support of the customers and partners. Huawei Cloud has launched over 210 services and over 210 mature solutions for customers worldwide. 1.5 million developers have joined our community. Huawei Cloud is committed to becoming the best application development platform, enabling apps, data, and intelligence, and becoming the most trusted partner of Chinese software companies. Huawei Cloud provides a set of simplified tools and templates that help make development more efficient. Meanwhile, apps, data, and AI enabling services, the embedded industry know-how and asset models have responded to the market changes. More importantly, we can facilitate developers to monetize their services. We offer effective ways of promoting app downloads and incentive programs for promising developers, including the provision of cloud services and traffic referral, and introducing the developers to top-notch incubators and accelerators. We seek to helping developers grow and succeed in the Huawei Cloud. Huawei Cloud Marketplace is the apps download platform for enterprise users. Over the past 2 years, it has grown rapidly, closing over 1 billion deals per year, 100,000 orders per year, and 30 partners exceeding 10 million in the sales revenue on Huawei Cloud Marketplace. There are very successful companies operating on Huawei Cloud Marketplace, including the very promising startups such as Karen Cat. It is a Chinese online cat software service provider. It is still a young company. It signed up to Marketplace in early 2019. Within just 1 year, its revenue from Marketplace has increased by 6-fold to exceed 10 million. Very impressive results. To attract more startups to our marketplace, Huawei Cloud provides incentives for SaaS apps. The first batch of 1,000 apps can receive up to 200,000 worth of cloud services, respectively. The incentive program accelerates the developers to develop, test, and deploy in Huawei Cloud. What you are familiar with is the App Gallery, apps download platform for Huawei devices. It's now the world's third largest app store. It has active users of 490 million worldwide, and the cumulative downloads reach 261 million. Huawei Cloud works with App Gallery Connect on a one-stop solution that provides technologies and resources for HMS core-based innovative apps. In addition to that, Huawei Cloud announced the HMS ecosystem program. The first batch of the program aims to provide 500 million RMB worth of cloud services for 1,500 HMS-based apps. When these apps go live, each can receive up to 1.2 million RMB of marketing funds. We hope these two download platforms, one for B2B and one for B2C, can accelerate monetization for the developers. In addition, we offer whole process simplified tools to enhance efficiency. This is how we expose our R&D capabilities amassed over many years. The current approach is a full code approach. It requires the developers to master advanced coding skills. Now, low or zero code approach is becoming an alternative. It allows business staff to drag and drop the building blocks to quickly build apps. Huawei Cloud provides one common tool platform and toolkits for top use cases. It is flexible with different approaches of development and thus increasing efficiency by 10 times. The common DevSecOps platform is called Huawei Dev Cloud. It covers the whole software lifecycle, from requirement planning, development, testing, launch, operation to maintenance. It is completely based on cloud services. Security protection is embedded in every step across the whole life cycle. Development and collaboration is much more efficient. And more importantly, software delivery is trustworthy. For the top use cases such as cloud-native apps, mobile apps, mini programs, AI apps, IoT apps, and data apps, we provide full code and low-code development toolkits. For example, in AI apps, model arts can label data with the low-code approach and use the data for model training and implementation. Next, let me see how we can embrace the low-code approach, APPQ, to develop a city management.
通过 Roma 应用魔方灵活的编排能力，应以智慧城市多主题业务，如应急指挥、经济发展等。管理人员使用这些应用进行城市治理，如应急指挥场景，可以方便地联动指挥多个部门解决问题。业务人员使用持续积累的智慧城市 IOC 标准卡片，通过拖拉转的方式编排应用，实现一次开发、发布多端应用，包括智慧屏、手机。Roma 应用魔方通过积木式搭建应用，使能 Citizen Developer 开发效率提升10倍。
谢谢，谢谢。
For developers to seize opportunities in Cloud 2.0 era, they need not just simplified tools but also industry know-how. Based on the unified Qingtian architecture, Huawei Cloud delivers seamless experiences and shares ecosystem across the cloud, edge, and devices. AI apps and data enablement services help integrate technology with industry know-how. The 3 services are about life cycle pipeline, key industry apps and capabilities, and industry assets. We have extensive project experiences. The AI enablement service Model Arts includes over 300 industry knowledge models. The apps enablement service called Roma is embedded with over 2,000 industry application assets. Data enablement service called Dayu has launched over 200 industry-wide data asset models. They imbued the coders with industry know-how so that they can better define industry-specific services. Huawei works with Northwest Air Traffic Management Bureau on air traffic data asset model, which is used to optimize traffic management and reduce flight delays to a great extent. AI is a buzzword for industries, but I believe you must have met many challenges of this kind when you try to apply AI to your production systems. For example, in the modeling phase, how to train models with high accuracy by using a small data set. In the use case validation phase, how to come up with a data model that can actually work in the real world in just a few weeks. In the delivery phase, how to deliver algorithms that work with only a small amount of coder support. In the mass replication phase, how to let algorithm engineers focus on key model optimization to accelerate the massive replication. In May 2018, I talked about inclusive AI at the Big Data Expo in Guizhou for the first time. The idea was to make AI affordable, easy to use, and secure. During HC 2018, we launched Model Arts in Shanghai. It serves as an efficient AI development platform, a one-stop one for developers. Now, Huawei Cloud has successfully delivered over 600 AI programs in a dozen industries. Model Arts has been widely adopted. Take a railway project as an example. The railway system involves over 600 types of faults, but the majority of them only generated very small data sets, less than 10. It was really a small amount of data sets, but because of Model Arts, the project achieved 100% of accuracy in detecting major faults and 98% of accuracy in detecting minor faults. I bring to you our upgraded version of Model Arts. Let me play you a video. Huawei Cloud Model Arts 3.0 is officially launched today. Model Arts 3.0 is an AI app development platform for the enterprise users, equipped with industry top-notch AI algorithms. It supports whole pipeline, intelligent evaluation, and diagnosis. It makes it easier for industries to implement and replicate AI solutions. I will give the floor to our chief AI scientist, Professor Tian Qi, for a more detailed explanation about our AI innovations.
感谢郑彦来先生. Please welcome Dr. Tian Qi, Chief Scientist in AI, Huawei Cloud BU, IEEE Fellow, to tell us more about Model Arts 3.0. 有请华为云业务人工智能领域首席科学家 IEEE Fellow 田奇博士为大家带来 Model Arts 3.0的详细介绍。有请。
Hello everyone, friends from online, good morning. I'm Tianqi from Huawei. As Mr. Zheng mentioned, Model Arts has been successfully implemented in multiple industries and projects. This is due to the long-term investment of Huawei Cloud EI in the AI field. Huawei Cloud has been rooted in basic AI research, covering computer vision, language and speech, and decision-making optimization. We focus on efficient models, efficient data, efficient computing, and efficient knowledge, and proposed 6 research programs, including high-performance model for big models, light-weighted model for small models, data magic cube for multi-model learning, data iceberg for small sample learning, generic vision for extraction of general knowledge, and V2R integration for a new learning paradigm. Many of our research achievements, including automatic machine learning, few-shot learning, federated learning, and pre-trained models, can be deployed on the Model Arts to offer plug-and-play functions for accelerating AI deployment. In multiple open competitions and tests, Huawei Cloud EI has achieved good performance in continuous innovation and research. These achievements will be applied to Model Arts for developers worldwide. In terms of perception, in ImageNet large-scale image classification, Web Vision large-scale network image classification, MS COCO two-dimensional object detection, New Scenes three-dimensional object detection, and visual pre-training models with classification, detection, and segmentation, we have maintained industry leadership. Currently, Model Arts-driven perception models have been widely used in medical image analysis, oil and gas exploration, and industrial fault detection. In terms of cognition, based on language and speech and knowledge graph, we integrate industry data to manage diverse, complex, and isolated data, and transform from perception intelligence to cognitive intelligence. At present, Model Arts-driven cognitive models have been applied to drug target prediction, financial fraud analysis, and intelligent after-sales service. In terms of decision-making, we have built a complete decision-making foundation based on algorithms such as operation research and optimization, reinforcement learning, and intelligent control. enabling AI to implement intelligent closed-loop management of perception, cognition, and decision-making. At present, the decision engine driven by model arts has been applied in the field of stand allocation, industrial manufacturing, intelligent transportation, and game and entertainment. Model Arts 3.0 is an AI development platform for AI implementation in the industry. Here, my team and I mainly explore the technical field. How can we effectively address industry challenges through AI technologies? For example, how to train high-precision models with little data, how to lower the threshold for enterprise AI application, how to address enterprises' concerns about data security. Finally, we have integrated the Huawei Cloud AI backbone, federated learning, intelligent evaluation and diagnosis for models, and high-performance AI computing into Model Arts 3.0. I will explain it in detail. Huawei Cloud AI backbone integrates efficient models, data, computing power, and knowledge to fully improve AI implementation in the industry. AI backbone has been practiced successfully in more than 10 industries, won championships of more than 10 industry challenges, and published more than 100 papers in top conferences. AI backbone provides a new paradigm for AI development. The following is an example of non-medical image segmentation. In the past, medical image segmentation training required hundreds and even thousands of labeled images. With AI backbone, the training can be done with just dozens or even just a dozen labeled images, reducing the labeling cost by over 90%. The model selection and the hyperparameter tuning previously required extensive experience from experts and usually involve a lot of trial and error. With AI backbone, the selection and parameter tuning can be automated. No manual intervention is required, the precision is higher, and the costs are lower. It took several weeks or even longer to complete model training, testing, acceptance, and deployment from scratch. After implementing pre-training model of AI backbone, the training time can be shortened to hours or even minutes, and training cost can be reduced by more than 90%. Based on the AI backbone technology, Huawei Cloud Model Arts and the Deep Robotics have implemented quadruped robot inspection in industrial scenarios. Next, let's welcome Mr. Zhu Qiuguo, CEO of Deep Robotics.
Please invite Mr. Zhu Qiuguo, founder and CEO of Deep Robotics, to the stage. 有请杭州云深处科技有限公司创始人兼 CEO 朱秋国先生登台。
朱老师好。
Hi, how are you, Mr. Zhu? Distinguished participants, hello everyone. I'm Zhu Qiuguo from Deep Robotics. I'm so privileged to attend the HC 2020. Deep Robotics is an innovative tech firm that is focused on the quadruped robots. The Jueying series of robot dogs have made breakthroughs in terms of key components, motion control algorithm, and intelligent sensing. Our robot dogs can actually walk quickly or even run and jump in complex environment. So far, our robots have included the Jueying robots for industrial applications and the mini robots for education and research, as well as the upcoming new product, Mini Light. I was told that you have brought your smart robot dog to this room. Yes. Yes, indeed, we have Jueying here with us. Please come up here. Okay, that's Jueying, our robot dog that Deep Robotics have developed. It is like an animal. It can walk, run, jump, and even play with human beings. Today, we have brought here a few moves for it to try with us so that we can actually interact with this dog. Let's see how it will react to us. Are you ready, Jueying? Okay, let's first demo the first move. Let's applaud. And let's put our hands together and see the response. Okay, thank you, thank you.
The robotic dog will actually use vision to capture my motion and give me his response. He is actually showing a dog dance. How do you like it? Yeah, thank you again. You're so kind. Can we bow? Yeah. Final third move, wave hand. Thank you, Jue. Thank you for your cooperation. See you later. So after this meeting, you're welcome to actually try it in our booth. The robots has enabled motion control and intelligent sensing as two APIs. A developer can actually do secondary development on the AI and the sensing. Indeed, the play between Dr. Zhu and the dog is wonderful, but we require even smarter robotic dogs to resolve complex problems in complex scenario. Dr. Zhu Jiangcheng of Huawei Cloud has developed a new platform for robotic dog on Huawei Cloud Model Arts, encompassing sensing, knowing, and deciding. Let's now look at how the dog can actually solve problems for human being. Sounds great. I look forward to the latest AI developments made by Dr. Zhu. I think the others have the same expectation. Now let's look at the robot dog for intelligent inspection in factories. Hi, I'm Zhu Jiangchen from Huawei Cloud. I'm so happy to have the opportunity to share with you my work. Now let's look at the model of chemical plant on the stage. What we would like to simulate is a leakage of the gas pipelines and the consequential fire. Of course, we simulate the fire here. We would like to dispatch our robot dogs to handle this crisis. Look at the screen. On the right is the third-party perspective from our cameraman, and then the master perspective on the right. There is a command line interface, vision region, and the navigation region. So in the navigation region, you can see the routes in real time and as planned. In the factory, the fire is on. Can your algorithm, identify the fire? We are going to use the target recognition capability of Model Arts. To make it safe here, we would like to use a simulated fire to replace the real fire. By the pre-installed backbone, we can use a small sample set to do the training for the model and detect and identify the flame. Look at the two side screens. This is what has been in the market, namely the backbone detection algorithm. In the vision region, you can tell that the dog has seen the fire. That means the detection has been complete. The fire has been detected, but how will the dog understand it is a fire and how dangerous it is to the chemical plant? Yeah, we are going to call the knowledge inference of Huawei Cloud EI to grant the cognitive ability to the dog. On the two side screens, you can see that we have already deployed the knowledge graph for the hazardous substance in chemical plants. So we have applied two nodes for the category of accident and the solution. And this is the intelligent Q&A. We raise a question now. How to handle a fire? Then the answer is, switch off the valves for the flammable gas. Actually, the dog asked the same question and got the same answer. Then based on this answer, the dog is going to do its job. So on the navigation map, you can see the route. The dog is going to simply walk through the fire. So will the dog learn about the fire and then generate another route? The dog is equipped with a LiDAR, but the LiDAR cannot identify the flame as an obstacle. So the pre-installed navigation algorithm cannot adopt the fire, and we need to use the decision-making AI to empower the dog. The technology we use is the reinforcement learning. In the command line interface, you can see that there's a grid, and we develop this grid matrix, and then add the knowledge about fire into this matrix and use the reinforcement learning algorithm to train the model. And then the reinforcement learning has granted another route to the dog so that the dog can dodge the fire. Then the dog is on its way to solve the problem. It is on the go, moving along the updated route towards the target. Then the third-party cameraman perspective can show that there's a red circle. That is the button to put out the fire. The dog is close to it. With some final adjustments of the position, it has stand still and pushed the button. The fire is put off. That means mission accomplished by this robot dog. This is the end of the demonstration. Thank you so much. Wonderful. After watching this demonstration full of expectations for the application of AI-empowered robotic dog in the industry, Huawei Model R's control and mechanical engineering interpenetrate and merge with each other and grant intelligence to quadruped robots and make breakthroughs in sense-based interactions and move towards cognizant decision. Look forward to the future cooperation with the Huawei Cloud. I believe that in the future we can see more AI applications appearing in our lives. We have the same expectation. Thank you so much, Mr. Zhu Quanguo and Dr. Zhu Jiangcheng, for the wonderful presentation you have given us. Next, let's look at federated learning, the next feature of Huawei's Model R 3.0. Data is the basis of AI application. Only based on diversified data can AI intelligent perception be realized. However, in actual deployment of AI in the industry, data is scattered among different data controllers, which causes data silos in the industry applications and undercuts the effectiveness of AI algorithm training. To address this problem, Huawei's Cloud Model R provides federated learning features to model data without moving them. The users separately use the local data for training without exchanging data themselves, and just use the encrypted manner to exchange the updated model parameters for the sake of co-training. Huawei Cloud AI partners with the academician Jiang Hualiang from CES Shanghai Institute of Medical Materials and apply the FedAMP and autogenome algorithm of AI of Huawei to AI tasks in drug R&D and achieve accurate prediction of water solubility, cardiotoxicity, and kinase activity. The accuracy rate is far better than traditional algorithm for federated learning and deep learning. In addition, Huawei Cloud provides Cloud Edge collaboration service to support the federated learning on data from different locations and different customers, upload to the server through encryption, update the global model, and then deploy it to the edge devices. Convenient support is provided to horizontal and vertical federated learning within and across the business models of the same format. Federated learning participants can participate in the federated learning through the cloud or through the computing power of Huawei's cloud edge devices, such as the small stations. Before the model is deployed, it needs to be fully evaluated. The model with excellent results is directly put into production environment, and the suboptimal models need to be further optimized and iterated. Model R provides comprehensive visual assessment and intelligent diagnosis, enabling developers to intuitively understand the performance of the various models and then carry out targeted fine-tuning or deployment. A new model evaluation of classification of epithelial cell is described in detail as below. In terms of accuracy, Huawei Cloud Model R provides conventional indicators such as accuracy rate, precision rate, recall rate, F1 value, confusion matrix, and ROC curve. It also includes data sensitivity analysis module to evaluate the performance of the model at sub-ranges of different data characteristics. In terms of performance, Model R provides operator-level statistical analysis of time and space consumption and a variety of overall performance indicators, and provides suggestions corresponding with the performance of the model, such as model quantification and distillation. In terms of interpretability, Model R provides a heat map to show the region based on which the model makes inferential judgments. In terms of credibility, Model R has a variety of model credibility-related measurement models, provides multi-angle model security capability assessment indicators, and can recommend defense measures according to the current model performance. With a further developed distributed training of deep learning, model training requires more and more for computing equipment. However, for various reasons, resources for training operations have not been fully utilized. There have been many reasons for the waste of resources, mainly the following. First, the quality of the training algorithm code itself is low and the resource utilization is poor. Model size and hyperparameter settings can also significantly change the utilization of computing resources. Third, the overall utilization rate of the resource pools fluctuates between values and peaks and valleys in the same way as a power supply. So the submission of training assignment also has resulted in great waste of resources. Elastic training is one of the core capabilities of Model Rs, which can realize optimal allocation of resources adaptively per the requirements of model training speed. The Model Rs provides two models. One is the turbo mode, which can make full use of the idle resources to speed up the training operations by 10 times without affecting the convergency accuracy of the model. The second is the economy mode, which can provide developers with the ultimate cost of performance by maximizing resource utilization. In most typical scenarios, the cost of performance can increase by more than 30%. In order to better support the AI R&D requiring hyper computing power, Huawei Model Rs platform has made targeted optimization in cluster scale, task number, and distributed learning. Model Rs development platform can manage tens of thousands of nodes to better support large training tasks requirements by optimizing the service framework. Model Rs platform supports 100,000 level jobs running simultaneously and 10,000 level chips for large-scale distributed tasks. Excellent distributed acceleration ratio is the key capability of large-scale cluster distributed training, and also a key factor for users to choose large-scale clusters to speed up AI business. Huawei Model Rs leading distributed acceleration ratio capability achieved 93.6 seconds in ml per benchmark. Imagine it 1K classification task with 512 chip cluster, which is better than 120 seconds in NVIDIA V100. Next, please welcome Dr. Du Xufei from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, or CES, to introduce the application of Model Rs minimalist platform to lower the threshold of AI application in brain science research, as well as the Model Rs supercluster and the super distributed training ability to efficiently explore the whole brain atlas.
In the coming days, AI will integrate with control sciences and mechanical engineering to make quadruped robots smarter, helping them shatter the limit of perception and interaction and move towards cognitive decision-making. 感谢各位的精彩演示，将 AI 与控制科学、机械工程相互融合，赋予四足机器人智慧，突破感交互，走向认知决策。我们拭目以待。Next, please invite Dr. Du Xufei, Director of Mesoconnectomy Research Facility, Chinese Academy of Sciences, to deliver his keynote speech, The Application of AI in Building Brain Atlas. 下面让我们有请中科院脑智卓越中心介观脑图谱研究平台主任杜旭飞博士为我们带来全脑图谱构建中 AI 的应用的主题演讲。
各位与会来宾，上午好。
Dear guests, good morning. It is an honor for me to be here to share with you one of the most important scientific projects that we're doing on the front line of brain science, and how we are working with Huawei Cloud to apply AI to accelerate this big project. The Center for Excellence for Brain and Intelligence of China's Academy of Sciences used to be the Neuroscience Institute of CES, and we are 21 years old. With the quick development of brain science and the strategic needs of the country, we were founded to combine brain science with intelligence technology. We have three directions for research, namely one body, two wings. Specifically, the first is to understand the neural basis of the brain's cognitive functions, which include things like learning, memory, choice, and higher levels like self-awareness, empathy, mind, language, and so on. These are areas of cutting-edge basic research leading the world. The second direction is geared to the needs of life and health, studies of brain diseases, early diagnosis, intervention, and treatment. It is estimated that 1/5 of the Chinese population has some brain diseases, including those related to development, such as autism, mental retardation, and mental illness like depression, anxiety, and addiction, as well as the neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. We need to study the pathogenesis of these diseases, establish the effective methods of early diagnosis and early intervention to prevent their deterioration. The third direction is to study the brain-like intelligence technology that simulates the brain structure and function, aiming at designing the cognitive computing model by referring to the information processing mechanism of human brains, realizing the general intelligence with lower power consumption and creating brain-like chips. And these are the basic framework also for the National Brain Program. As the main body of the three, we need to understand how the brain performs various cognitive functions. We need to also understand that we first need to complete an important necessary big scientific project, which is to make the brain atlas. Our brains, like any other organ in the human body, and its basic structure and the functional units are cells, which we call neurons. As shown here, despite there's different species, from zebrafish to mice to macaques to humans, they have bigger and bigger brains and exponentially larger number of neurons. For example, human beings have 86 billion neurons in the brain. Our brains are a vast and complex network of interconnected neurons of various shapes and functions connected by structures called synapses, in which the information is directionally transmitted by electrical signals. So to map the brain atlas is to map this vast network of circuits. For experimental science, our preferred research object is zebrafish, which is relatively simpler. Its brain has only 100,000 neurons, 100 million synapses, namely 100 million connections. It is important that it has the conservative nervous system of vertebrates. It is small and transparent. It is a model vertebrate that allows full observation of the entire brain structure and the brain electrical activity pattern on live animals. Our hope is that a complete analysis of this tiny brain will reveal how the brain works and contribute to brain-like intelligence. On the left, what you see here is a genetically modified zebrafish brain, smaller than 0.2 cubic millimeters, like a grain of dust, but with 100,000 neurons and 100 million connections. Is a general intelligent system. We will do the mapping for the brain's homographic map, mainly including the structure map and the single-cell resolution and the functional map. The structure graph contains two steps. The first is to profile the different areas and the different types of neurons in the brain. This is a neuron on the brain, and this is the cell body, and the rest of the yellow lines are the neuron emits a lot of long synapses and form a neuron is like a tree. When we plant a tree, we would like to figure out where to plant it and where it will be like, and where its spikes will point at. The second step is to get all of these different types of neurons and what type of neurons do communication. Here you see two neurons. The blue part is the dendrites, which receive information, and the pink part is called axons, which sends information. The upstream neurons form synapses through the contact of axons, and the downstream neuron dendritic structure and transmit information. We just want to figure out how different brain regions and different types of neurons are connected and wired and create the brain atlas finally. As I said, the brain of zebrafish larvae are transparent. So we can apply calcium imaging to observe the 100,000 neurons discharge of power in space and time, thus drawn the whole brain activity atlas from a variety of sensory inputs to the behavior of the output, and then combine the structure map to explore the universal law of how the brain works and do research on brain function simulation and theories. In the first step of mapping the morphological projection of whole brain neurons, a time-consuming and labor-intensive step is the morphological reconstruction of single neurons. As shown on the left, reconstruction is to genetically label the fluorescence image in the form of individual neurons through the tracking form into the digital neuron skeleton information shown on the right. Through reconstruction, we can collect from individual fishes as many neural cells as a fish brain has. For example, every fish can be marked for 2 neurons. So for 100,000 neurons, we need to image 50,000 fishes. Finally, the whole brain data can be generated. So for the 100,000 neurons in the whole brain, the total imaging data can reach 130 T. If the 3D shape construction is done manually, 125 people need to work for a year, while one person needs to work for 125 years. Through the application of a model art platform, we have trained a complete set of network from image segmentation to morphological tracking of neurons in the later stage by using the gold standard labeling data of nearly 200,000 image blocks containing 360 zebra images. The reconstruction accuracy and recall rate has reached 95% if multi-machine parallel computing is used. The total construction time of the 100,000 neurons can be shortened from 125 years to 10 days, theoretically. The cost of reconstruction of single neuron can be reduced by 77 times if extended to mice and even non-human primates, such as the macaques. The cost reduction would be even greater. So this is the whole brain projection effect of 20 neurons reconstructed by Huawei Cloud. Through putting the network trained above into standardized brain space coordinates of zebrafish by registration technology, and the establishment of the zebrafish standard brain, whole brain 3D registration and visualization was done by our center. In summary, with the help of AI, we try to create a structural and functional atlas for a zebrafish brain, explore the organization rules of the general intelligence system, which has evolved over 100 million years, and provide new strategies and ideas for brain-like intelligence. This requires not only the knowledge and technology throughout the life science, but also joint efforts of many other disciplines, such as mathematics, computer science, and AI experts particularly. Now we are applying AI to help the mapping of brain atlas in the future. We hope that by studying the brain, we can help to achieve new breakthroughs in AI, such as revolutionizing the existing artificial neural network architecture and algorithm, and finally realizing the transformation from weak AI to general intelligence. I look forward to even more exciting cooperation with Huawei Cloud AI in the future. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Du Xufei, for the excellent presentation. With the support of backbone network federated learning, model diagnosis, optimization, and many other technologies, we are going to penetrate more industries and develop the industries of better technology for AI platform in finance and others. We are going to focus on the efficient model, data, computing, and knowledge, and take root in basic research of AI. We will also invest in the basic research of computer vision, speech semantics, and decision optimization, continuously empower developers with AI so that they can unleash their respective strengths and create their unique values. We will continue to make AI inclusive and grow with developers worldwide. Thank you. That is all of my speech.
Thank you both. 感谢两位的精彩分享。Next, I would like to invite Mr. Deng Taihua again, President of Huawei Computing Product Line, to present his keynote speech, Diversified Computing, Open Innovation for Shared Success. 下面让我们再次请出华为计算产品线总裁邓泰华先生，为我们带来开放创新、共赢多样性计算新时代的主题演讲。
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, friends from online, good morning. It is a great pleasure to meet you at Huawei Connect for the first time, to share the progress of Kunpeng and Ascent computing industries and our thoughts on the future. Last year at Huawei Connect, we released Kunpeng and Ascend computing industry strategies of open hardware, open source software, and partner enablement. We received positive response and support from all of you. We fulfilled our commitment and promoted the cooperation of integrated equipment. Our open source program are all achieved as scheduled, and the progress in open source community has exceeded expectation. I would like to thank partners and developers for their support. Thank you all. Now let's enjoy a video of the growth of Kunpeng, Ascend, and developers in the past year. Thank you again for your amazing enthusiasm. Over the past year, we have made a series of progress with our partners. First, Huawei opens up motherboards and components to enable partners to build their own brand of integrated equipment and share capabilities with partners in all aspects. In the market, we insist on partner-first approach. Since June, partners' shipments have surpassed those of Huawei's own Taishan server, and sales proportion of Huawei's partners will increase further in the future. For basic software, we have launched the open source operating system OpenEuler, enterprise-level database OpenGauss, and data visualization engine OpenLogan as scheduled. Partners have released commercial versions based on the open source community. In addition, in Ascend, our open source AI framework MindSpore has become the most popular AI open source community in China within half a year. We hope that more developers will participate in building a basic software ecosystem for shared benefits and collaboration. In addition to open source, we also actively contributed to the upstream open source community to enable the global open source system to better support diversified computing. Huawei continuously contributes to the Linux community. In the latest Linux kernel version 5.8, Huawei ranks number 2 by contribution. We actively participated in various open source projects and jointly built ARM CI environment. Currently, 80% open source projects support Kunpeng for mainstream scenarios. This is very important. In this way, no secondary migration is required. The code is integrated into the open source community, and Kunpeng developers can directly invoke these open source components out of the box. In the AI field, we also support mainstream AI frameworks such as TensorFlow, PyTorch, and Caffe, and have supported over 110 mainstream AI models. Currently, there are more than 300,000 Kunpeng and Ascend developers, more than 1,000 partners, and more than 3,000 certified solutions. These numbers are growing even faster every week and every day. And within 1 year, we've witnessed the beginning, growth, and acceleration of Kunpeng and Ascend industries. Thank you again for your enthusiastic participation. We welcome more partners and developers to join us for a thriving ecosystem of computing industry and to embrace the digital world. In the physical world, electricity is the productive force. In the digital world, computing power is the productive force. From the PC internet era to mobile internet era, and to the intelligent era with all things connected, the demand for computing power is growing explosively. The explosive growth of computing power requirements has far exceeded Moore's law. The computing power improvement brought by chip technology advancement cannot meet the computing power demand. Therefore, the next decade will be a golden decade for computing architecture innovation. Innovation from general-purpose computing to its combination with heterogeneous computing, and full-stack innovation from hardware to basic software to application software. Kunpeng and Ascent were born to meet the era of diversified computing power and embrace full-stack innovation. Now let me share with you the future plan for the Kunpeng and Ascent industries. First of all, on Kunpeng. At Huawei Connect last year, we opened the Kunpeng motherboard and announced the Open Euler and the Open Gauss plans. Today we open the Kunpeng full stack to the industry, including the Kunpeng motherboards 2.0, and we will continue investing in Open Euler and Open Gauss, Open Boost Kit, the Kunpeng application enabling kit, and the Dev Kit, the Kunpeng development kit. Through full-stack openness, we will accelerate computing industry innovation. First, open hardware. Last year, we opened up general motherboards and standard components, enabling partners to quickly launch integrated equipment and enter the market. We are pleased to see partners starting large-scale commercial deployment in government and finance and the telco industries. However, we know that this is not enough. With the popularization of application scenarios, partners need to provide products that are more adaptable and competitive to different industries. We will open Kunpeng motherboard 2.0. We will open general motherboard and also basic board plus extended board. The basic board will embody common features to reduce duplicated development. Extended board aims at innovation, enabling partners to differentiate. In addition, we open BIOS BMC software to support partners' customization. The Kunpeng motherboard 1.0 enables partners to quickly launch products, and 2.0 enables differentiation. We adopt a gradual approach to help partners achieve business success. In the era of diversified computing, there is a huge space for operating system innovation. Open Euler has come just in time. The Open Euler solution enables diversified computing capabilities, releases ultimate performance, ensures security and trustworthiness, and implements all-scenario collaboration. Based on the LTS version released in March, mainstream OS vendors in China have launched commercial versions based on Open Euler. Kirin software has become the second largest contributor in the community. Kirin V10 that integrates Euler technology has been put into full commercial use and progresses fast. The community will release a new version this month to further enhance the ultimate performance, security, trustworthiness, and open ecosystem, including the innovative lightweight VM technology, the first release of the confidential computing framework SecGear, and the opening of key features such as automatic testing platform Compass CI, among other critical features. In March of next year, the release will feature collaboration of cloud, edge, and device scenarios. We plan to fully upgrade the community governance organizations such as community councils, technical committees, user committees, marketing committees, and secretariats. We expect that the number of SIGs will increase from 70 to 100, 150, and even 300 or 400 in the future. On both sides of the screen, there is the QR code for our community. You are welcome to scan and join our community. Please join, play a role, and make contributions. The OS is the root, and deep roots make for greener leaves. We need to have a root in developing basic software. I hope we work together. In the next 3 years, for both southbound and northbound, we will jointly develop thousands of enterprises, tens of thousands of open source developers, and millions of commercial users. make Open Euler a preferred OS community for developers, and build a global mainstream OS ecosystem. Database is like the jewel on the crown of basic software, and it's also the biggest challenge facing China's basic software development. Those in database business know that if we independently develop the kernel, we need a long development period, a large manpower investment, and a long-term commitment. However, common open source databases cannot meet enterprise-class requirements in terms of performance, reliability, and security. Therefore, based on collaboration of enterprise-level products, we will distill enterprise-level products of GaussDB and make them open source, open capabilities, and build ecosystems. This will be an effective mode for the database industry in China. OpenGauss focuses on building database kernels with high performance, reliability, and security, and supports partners to improve enterprise-class features to steadily promote commercial use. On June 30th, we open-sourced version 1.0 as scheduled. Currently, 6 partners have released the commercial version, including Vast Data, Motech, and Shentong Data, have been put into commercial use, their own versions. The Vast Base test results at MIIT last week were also excellent. At the end of this year, Release 1.1 will be published to continuously improve enterprise-class features. In March of next year, Huawei plans to release version 2.0 to continuously enhance enterprise-class security. As we all know, building database products and ecosystems is a long and arduous process, requiring continuous investment and strategic patience. However, we also believe that we will continue to build and take on any challenge if we have the ambition. We will keep building OpenGauss database ecosystem. We welcome partners to join us and to jointly build open source database ecosystem with global influence. Hardware provides computing power, basic software releases computing power, and application software creates business value. Application software migration and optimization are always the key to building the Kunpeng software ecosystem. Today, we launch for software partners and developers the complete development suites. The first is Kunpeng Boost Kit. It includes high-performance open-source components, acceleration software packages, tools, and the best reference implementations to enable this chemical reaction between applications. You are welcome to join the Kunpeng community to acquire this kit. The last part is the Kunpeng development, which is highly relevant to our developers. Today, we officially release the Kunpeng Dev Kit, a Kunpeng development suite for the entire R&D process. You are familiar with code scanning, migration, and optimization tools. But there are 3 features that we are releasing today. First of all, the Bisheng compiler. Compiler is a core technology of software. 1,000 years ago, Bisheng invented movable types. Today, we officially release the Kunpeng native Bisheng compiler. We know that there is a ARC compiler for Harmony OS, and there is Bisheng compiler for Kunpeng. It supports multi-core parallel operation, automatic vectorization, and instruction acceleration. The compilation performance is greatly improved. We will launch the 1.0 version recently, and we will launch the 2.0 version by the end of this year. In addition, for a few migration scenarios without source code, we launch a transitional migration software, which is the binary instruction dynamic translation software. You don't need the source code. You only need a binary executable file. Then the software can be directly migrated to Kunpeng without modification and compilation, and the performance reaches 80% of native application performance. This provides an alternative which is effective and efficient to customers and partners. By the end of this year, all these tools can be integrated into mainstream IDEs as plugins. which retains developers' existing habits. Now let's watch a video to experience our latest Kunpeng Dev Kit. As you can see from the video, code migration and tuning are just as simple as that. Our tools are being enhanced and iterated quickly. Developers are welcome to use this feature and raise requirements to us to help us improve this development kit. Kunpeng will stick to open hardware, open source software, and enabling partners and developers to jointly build the Kunpeng industry. I hope that Kunpeng is not just the Kunpeng of Huawei, but the Kunpeng of the industry. With your full support, Kunpeng will definitely take off and soar. Next, I'd like to share with you the progress in Ascend AI computing industry. As you all know, AI as a general-purpose technology will profoundly change every aspect of our lives and society in the coming decades. We are on the eve of explosive growth of AI. With the development of AI technologies, we can see that the accuracy of AI in certain specific fields and scenarios is higher than that of human beings. This means that AI technologies are ready for large-scale application in scenarios. However, the penetration rate of AI applications in the industry is very low, only 4%. What is the bottleneck that hinders AI development? Each AI application requires 8 steps before large-scale deployment. And each step of them is like bridging a gap. To sum up, there are 3 challenges. First, AI algorithms are difficult to develop and the technical threshold is high. For example, obtain model is a challenge. There are a large number of models that can be used in each scenario. However, which model is the most suitable one? Models invoke different operators, but models and operators are in quick iteration. Second, application development is difficult. AI systems need to integrate system know-how. However, those who understand AI do not understand the industry, and vice versa. Third, large-scale deployment faces various scenarios. Sometimes the models are tuned with high accuracy. However, during deployment, when a camera is changed or even the resolution is changed, then it creates a big challenge. Or sometimes when the light changes, the accuracy suffers. Faced with these 8 major gaps and 3 challenges, it is very, very difficult for an enterprise or developer to master all capabilities from beginning to end. Therefore, bridging the 8 gaps and the 3 challenges is dependent on building a full-stack AI solution that features simplified, efficient, and ultimate performance for developers to provide adaptation capabilities to developers to meet different requirements of each type of them. This is the aspiration of Ascend full-stack or scenario development. We have profiled all developers, including AI operator developers, AI model developers, and AI application developers. We have specific product support to provide specific capability to each type of the developers, avoiding development from the bottom layer and achieving simplicity and efficiency. In addition, through full-stack collaboration, we aim at achieving ultimate performance. Next, let me talk to you about the full stack of the Ascend. First, let's introduce the Ascend hardware product Atlas, covering all scenarios including modules, cards, servers, and clusters. Today, Huawei launches 300i inference card. One single card supports real-time analysis of 80-channel Full HD videos, including a 300 TB training card supporting a maximum computing power of 320 T-flops, which is leading in the world. Ascend also supports Atlas 900 Pro, a strong computing cluster. Ascend also implements the strategy of opening hardware and enabling partners. We started to develop certified solution partners since August, integrating Ascend modules, boards, and servers into partners' own brand of integrated equipment and solutions. We welcome strong and willing partners to work with us to build competitive AI solutions. CAN, the heterogeneous framework, is essential for giving full play to hardware computing power. The latest CAN 3.0 supports all device edge cloud scenarios of inference and training, achieving the following three enablements. First, enable all scenarios. It supports one-time development and flexible deployment of various hardware in all scenarios, and supports 14 mainstream OS and mainstream AI frameworks. Second, facilitate simplified development. With the unified programming interface Ascend CL, developers only need to master one set of APIs to fully use inference and training hardware. Third, unlocks ultimate performance. Software and hardware collaborative optimization, graph compilation optimized for Ascend, and more than 1,000 high-performance operators are used to release the powerful performance of Ascend hardware. At HC last year, we released Atlas 900. Under ResNet 50, it achieved a fastest training speed of 59.8 seconds, which was leading in the world. And this year, for the same hardware, and based on the CAN 3.0 software optimization, the training time is further reduced by more than half to 25.9 seconds, which again is leading in the world. This is also the software upgrade mode of Ascend. You can purchase Atlas hardware and upgrade the software to a new version to continuously improve performance. MindSpore is an AI framework for all device edge cloud scenarios. It is the core of Ascend ecosystem development. Since open source from March, we have received positive response, and after half a year of continuous effort, today we will release MindSpore 1.0. This is the first commercial version of MindSpore, a milestone. And this version has gone live yesterday on MindSpore community. There are several features of this version. First, fully automatic parallel operation. Today there are more parameters and models. The GPT-3 parameter has exceeded 175 billion. The parallel capability of the future framework is becoming more and more critical. MindSpore is the world's first fully automatic parallel framework. It not only splits large images into small images, but also splits operators in small images into different computing units with a 90 to 95% linearity, which is 70 to 85% higher than the industry peers. Second, all scenario collaboration and adaptation has been achieved. This is also important. After model training, we, depending on different storage, memory, and hardware specifications, can adapt automatically without manual intervention. MindSpore supports training of local incremental data and provides a more precise AI model. For example, on our mobile phone, there is a voice recognition function based on AI. Models are trained in the center, and inferred and applied on devices. However, there are different accents and languages. Sometimes models trained in this center cannot identify those accents at device, but MindSpore can directly perform lightweight training on models based on personal data on the device and modify local inference parameters based on the training result. In this way, data is stored locally, protecting personal privacy, and the model precision is improved and the customization is implemented. Third, end-to-end simplified process. Developers can quickly import and debug models and use the third-party trained models to automatically convert. After open source by the end of March, MindSpore has received positive responses from developers. There are more than 1,500 contributors, and the download volume is increasing rapidly. In September, the average daily download has exceeded 600, making it the most popular AI open source community in China. And the download outside China is also increasing rapidly. We hope to work with AI developers to build a global mainstream AI framework that best adapts to all scenarios. Today, we also launched the full pipeline development toolchain, MindStudio, to support the whole process activities from operator development to application deployment. It features plugin design, easy installation, immersive experience, and precise analysis. You are welcome to log in to the Kunpeng, to the Ascent community, and to try out the MindStudio. And to conclude, I want to talk about MindX. AI operator developers have CAN, and AI model developers have MindSpore. But to the mass number of AI application developers, what do we provide? MindX. It enables application developers to implement AI functions with a small amount of coding or even without coding. We will see a live demo in which video analysis applications can be directly generated without writing a line of code. MindX consists of 2 plus 1 plus X. There are 2 components and 1 pre-trained model library, and X refers to the industry SDKs. The 2 components are deep learning and intelligent edge components. The core is to implement unified abstraction and the management of device and computing resources and make sure they are invoked by the upper layer platform. In this way, the upper layer applications only need to focus on functions but do not need to focus on the configurations of underlying resources. The Model Zoo is our pre-trained model library, which provides scenario-based model acquisition to solve the problem of what I mentioned, the model selection. Currently, more than 60 preferred models have been released in the community. We also release or initiate what we call the model crowdfunding for developers, which is rewarded. We welcome on-site and online developers to scan and join the Ascent community and join our model crowdfunding plans. And those watching online, please search the Ascent developer community on Baidu to join our model and operator crowdfunding plans. The X refers to the SDKs for different industries. This is critical. The SDK is a development toolkit and a knowledge base for the same type of industry scenarios. It accumulates development experience and industry know-how in one type of industry scenarios and shares capabilities horizontally to greatly reduce the development threshold and improve development efficiency. In the future, with the continuous improvement of industry SDKs, the basic capabilities of the entire industry applications will be improved. Rising water raises all boats. Next, we'll show a live demo on the video analysis SDK and how does it enable CV applications to be quickly rolled out, greatly improving efficiency and achieving ultimate performance. Now let's have my colleague to present the demo. So I will demonstrate vehicle detection on the MindStudio SDKs. This is the development interface. The plugins are on the left-hand side. And for higher efficiency, we have embedded lots of function plugins and have optimized it for Ascend, and it interfaces with third-party plugins. For vehicle detection, we need to acquire camera stream. Here, I need to configure the address and the port. Then I need to decode the video. Next, we need the resize function. Now we can start vehicle detection. I stack the detection results with original video. In the video, we can see vehicle detection package, generate web service, Now, one channel of vehicle detection is developed. For demo purpose, we use offline video to simulate cameras. Through these operations, we can see SDK has made AI application development simple. We just need to simply copy and paste to develop multiple channel applications. Here we only need to modify the address and the web service port. Now the second channel is developed. It is truly convenient. If we need to update model, we can do it through Model Zoo. On one Atlas 300 AI acceleration card, we can realize 80-channel HD video for real-time analysis. Let me demonstrate. To save time, we have orchestrated a configuration file. Here I just need to import it through one click. Let's look at the 80-channel analysis interface. This is the 80-channel offline analysis. The videos are smooth. Now please make a close-up of our server. In the server, there is only one Atlas 300 AI acceleration card that supports 80 channels detection. SDK not only facilitates development, but also enables hardware and software innovation to fully unleash the Atlas ultimate computing power. That's all for my demo. Thank you very much. Thank you. You can see that without one line of coding, SDK has enabled simply by dragging, copying, and pasting to generate one industry application quickly. We will launch the Video Analysis SDK and the Smart Manufacturing SDK first. We will launch them next month. And in future, we will launch with our partners more industry SDKs in the future. You can obtain from the Ascend community our MindX 2+1+X components. I've talked about the Kunpeng full-stack general computing and the Ascend full-stack AI computing. However, the future will be a combination of general-purpose computing and heterogeneous computing. Kunpeng plus Ascend, based on the combination of diverse computing capabilities, will create greater value for the development of the computing industry. Diversified computing and distributed applications are two trends in the future. On the one hand, the computing power supply of data centers is increasingly diversified, such as x86, GPU, and Kunpeng and Ascend. On the other hand, acceleration of distributed applications require convergence of multiple computing power. These two trends herald the computing industry into the era of distributed and diversified computing. In the era of distributed and diversified computing, developers face more challenges, such as how can high-density computing applications leverage the advantages of mass computing power, how to best match diversified computing power with applications, how to improve the parallel performance of distributed applications, How can application performance be linearly increased as the system scale grows? And convergent development brings high learning costs and cross-system collaboration issues. To address these challenges, we are going to launch the Distributed Diversified Computing Software Suite. Please watch the video. The Distributed and Diversified Computing Software Suite shields the complexity of diversified computing power in the southbound and enables efficient development of distributed and parallel applications in the northbound. Now I'd like to invite my colleague Mr. Xiong Yan to explain it in detail.
Thank you, Mr. Deng. 感谢邓台华先生. Please invite Mr. Xiong Yan, President of Huawei Computing Product Line R&D, to give us a detailed introduction. 下面让我们欢迎华为计算产品线研发总裁熊彦先生为我们做详细的介绍。
Dear guests, developer friends, good morning. I'm very glad to be here to share with you Huawei's thoughts on the challenges of distributed diversified computing. Huawei supports development kits for distributed diversified computing, including management software, development tools, acceleration library, scheduler, and distributed parallel development framework. Our goal is to show the complexity of diversified computing power development towards the south, make full use of the performance of various processors, enable efficient development of distributed parallel applications towards the north, and connect with the existing distributed application development ecosystems. We want to provide better support to developers and help them to create more value. Today, I will focus on three core components: CCAL, Cluster Computing Acceleration Library, DONAO, Unified Scheduler, and Huawei Yuanrong Distributed Parallel Development Framework. First, I'd like to talk about how Huawei's CCAL acceleration libraries deliver new levels of performance. With the development of new services like AI and big cloud and big data, the data to be computed today has extended from text, voice, image, video, and other types of unstructured data. Data size is increasing explosively. Computing forms are also expanded from scalar to vector computing and tensor and graph computing. Huawei's CCAL supports multimodal and diversified computing, meeting the needs of all computing application scenarios. CCAL consists of a domain-specific acceleration library and a basic acceleration library. The first one is for mainstream application frameworks. It significantly improves performance and is ecosystem-friendly, enabling seamless application interaction for developers. The basic acceleration library enables various computing capabilities. With the rapid development of data centers, massive data, diversified computing, distributed communication, and parallel multi-core pose great challenges to application developers. Huawei's CCAL makes breakthroughs in algorithm technologies to address these challenges, enabling developers to easily develop high-performance applications. Next, let me briefly introduce how Huawei's CCAL uses algorithm innovation to address the performance challenges brought by distributed diversified computing. First, to address the challenge of data scale by optimizing algorithms and equivalent transformation of algorithms, we have reduced the computing workload. The same computing power can support a much larger data scale. In addition, we use the heterogeneous domain decomposition algorithm to adapt to different computing power, so data is computed with the most appropriate computing power, greatly improving computing efficiency. By adopting the optimal data splitting algorithm for data affinity, computing can be completed within nodes or between adjacent nodes. Therefore, we can effectively reduce the network traffic of each node in the computing process. The optimization of algorithm parallelism policies can help increase the number of parallel tasks and even distribute the tasks on multiple cores, making full use of the multi-core computing power of the data centers. With our long-term accumulation in basic algorithm research, Huawei is continuously iterating our CCAL. We've optimized the performance of each acceleration library of CCAL, matched with various computing power, and injected new algorithms and models. These optimizations are achieved by the hard work of Huawei's scientists worldwide. At the end of this year, we will officially release 2 high-performance acceleration libraries for data applications, machine learning library and graph analysis library. The average performance will be 50% and 80% higher than that of the mainstream open source libraries. Developers will perceive obvious performance acceleration in their corresponding application scenarios. Huawei will continue to enrich CCAL. These acceleration libraries will be released in Huawei, Kunpeng, and Ascend communities. Scan the QR code to follow the progress. The second core component is Donau Unified Scheduler. With the large-scale application of diversified computing power, we are facing new challenges. There are 2 challenges. First, the load of distributed diversified computing is converging. Let me give you one example. Weather forecasts. Traditional weather forecasts are typically numerical simulations, which require a large amount of computation and a long time. New methods in the industry are combining big data, neural networks, with numerical simulation. This can greatly shorten the computing time. This application integrates multiple computing frameworks and diversified computing power. Traditional domain-based resource scheduler makes it difficult to efficiently coordinate multiple schedulers, resulting in difficult application adaptation and low resource utilization. The second challenge is posed by the increase of the computing power scale. The current mainstream schedulers can manage a maximum of 100,000 current jobs. If the number exceeds that, the utilization rate of the entire system will decrease rapidly. However, some leading companies in certain industries are asking for computing 300,000 jobs in parallel. If we use separate scheduling, it will fragment resource utilization and increase management costs by multiple times. To address these challenges, Huawei has developed a unified scheduler Donau to provide large-scale, efficient, and cross-domain resource collaboration for distributed diversified computing and comprehensive support for scheduling diversified workloads. Donau Unified Scheduler connects to the resource scheduling layer. The task scheduling layer is kept, so the existing AI and big data application ecosystems can be supported without code intrusion. The Donau Scheduler can achieve unified scheduling of diversified loads, unified management of diversified computing resources, and unified system monitoring and O&M. Donau also supports resource collaboration between the public cloud and cross-DC resource pools. It can use cloud resources on demand during peak hours and also implement cross-DC load balancing through job scheduling. Donau Unified Scheduler is developed by Huawei. It has made breakthroughs in 3 critical areas. First, large-scale distributed technologies enabled 20,000 nodes in a single resource pool and 300,000 concurrent jobs, which is 2 times of the industry average. Second, innovation of key algorithms. We have integrated scientific computing and big data scheduling algorithms, breaking the limits of traditional schedulers. The scheduling capability can reach around 5,000 jobs per second. and 4 million jobs can be completed every hour in the real production environment. Million-level core MPI can be launched in 3 minutes. Third, make breakthroughs in multi-workload converged scheduling, covering AI, big data, and high-performance computing, and all other types of loads. The system resource utilization is over 90%. We plan to officially launch Donao 1.0 by the end of 2020. It will effectively address the high-performance application demand of industry customers. Now let's watch a video and check the main features of the Donao scheduler.
进入分布式多样性计算时代 ，HPC、AI、Big Data 多负载融合成为趋势，在气象等行业开始应用。传统竖井式管理，资源碎片化，多个调度器之间无法协同，工作流运行效率低下。多脑支持统一资源管理，提供多样算力调度能力，统一调度解决资源碎片化，统一调度提高工作流运行效率，支持高效负载调度。当资源池规模不断增大，多脑强大的调度能力和创新算法，使资源利用率持续保持90%以上。多样化算力时代的统一调度器 Donao 将在2020年底正式上市。
Just now, I shared how CCAL Acceleration Library and Donao Scheduler help developers improve application performance in distributed diversified computing. Now, let me talk about the third component, how to enable efficient development of distributed, parallel, and diversified computing applications. Efficient development of distributed parallel applications has been a hot topic in the industry. After VMs and containers, the serverless development mode emerges and develops rapidly. Turing Award winner David Patterson and Spark's co-founder Ian Stoica asserted in the 2019 Berkeley meeting that serverless would be the default next-generation computing paradigm. Because it enables developers to focus on developing the core business logic for their products, and they do not need to be bothered by the computing resource deployment and resource scaling. However, based on the features of serverless design, it is mainly used for simple and independent tasks and function orchestration tasks which do not require communication with each other and are not highly dependent on data. It is difficult to address a wide range of other scenarios such as stateful function orchestration, multitask collaboration, etc. The main reasons are first, serverless is abstracted based on stateless functions. Development of stateful applications is very complex. Developers need to split the stages and maintain complex contacts between functions. Application implementation is limited. And second, as function collaboration dependency cannot be perceived, multiple parallel functions of distributed applications cannot be scheduled and optimized based on data affinity. And heterogeneous function acceleration cannot be achieved. Serverless functions cannot directly communicate with each other and depend on external message services. In addition, the threshold of distributed parallel application development is quite high. To achieve high-performance parallelism, developers need to perform computing, sharding, parallelism, dependency processing, and other fundamental development tasks by themselves. Therefore, how to enable efficient development of distributed parallel applications in all scenarios? Let me share with you Huawei's thoughts and practice. We will launch Yuanrong Distributed Parallel Development Framework for developers. This is a distributed parallel development framework developed by Huawei based on function computing. Yuanrong's vision is to enable every developer to program on a large-scale distributed system, just like on a standalone machine, and develop distributed parallel applications as easily as with building blocks. There are 5 key components for Yuanrong. First, function pattern. It provides domain-specific distributed parallel model expressions, simplifying the parallel design of data and computing by distributed application developers and greatly improving development efficiency. Second, function core. It is the core function of the distributed parallel development framework. It resolves resource abstraction issues, implements data affinity based on function scheduling, and enables diversified computing capabilities. Yuanrong's data system provides high scalability and low latency data cache. It can support tens of thousands of function instances. Compared with traditional serverless systems, the cache read and write latency is shortened by 10 times. The communication system supports direct communication between functions and starts functioning in milliseconds. AI for system builders, AI technology is introduced to improve performance tuning and fault locating efficiency for large-scale distributed parallel applications. Now, let's use an example to demonstrate how Yuanrong supports developers to efficiently build a high-performance parallel application. Football is one of the most popular sports. I love football myself. Advertisers want to accurately evaluate players' advertising value. They need to analyze massive historical football game videos and collect statistics on how long a player has appeared in front of the camera and how many times he was mentioned by the commentators. Now, my colleague will join me and demonstrate how Yuanrong can help developers quickly and easily realize this function. Please welcome Wu Jie. Please look at the screen. Let's create a video pattern application and we give it a name. Next, we need to define its structure, the parallelism structure. There are templates for different application scenarios, and this is adaptable. We can select one template, and Yuanrong will build a graph. You can see the blue boxes are the embedded operator functions. It can split it, and then developers can define it, and then summarize the results and analyze it. Developers only need to develop the business functions marked in the yellow boxes. Now we modify the code and to realize this function. First, we will add a facial recognition function. It can recognize the faces of the players. And then we add a voice recognition function. And this function will convert a voice into text and calculate the times of a player's names mentioned by the commentators. Then value analysis. Let's update the graph. So you can see the three functions are added. Now we need to develop the codes of these three functions. Due to the interest of time, I've already developed them. So here I'm uploading the packets. So the application development is finished. Now we can deploy this application. Deploy succeeds. Now we can use this application. It is running. You can see all the instances and the consumption of the resources. Running completed. You can see the results of the analysis, the time taking for the operation, and its comparison with others. You can see Yuanrong's performance is much higher than the others. Here is the code comparison. On the left side, it's a Yuanrong-based code development, and the right side are the codes developed based on other platforms. So you can see in the other platforms, besides developing business functions, you also need to develop distributed parallelism-related functions. For Yuanrong, we need to develop 1,124 lines of codes, while for others, you need to develop more than 4,000 lines of codes. So let's look at the effects of this application. So you can see the two numbers calculated by the algorithm. The time appear in front of the camera and also times mentioned by the commentators. These are the two numbers. That's all for this demo. Thank you. Thank you, Wu Jie. As we have seen, Yuanrong will help developers define the development and running modes of distributed parallel applications. In Yuanrong 1.0, the following features are provided for developers: distributed parallel application developed in building block style, job collaboration on a function basis, direct communication between functions, and startup in milliseconds, highly expandable low latency data cache system. Based on Huawei's practices in distributed storage, media, HPDA, and applications, we plan to launch Yuanrong 1.0 to developers in the middle of 2021 to help developers develop high-performance distributed parallel applications more efficiently, make distributed application development simple and efficient, and fully unleash the value of diversified computing power. That's all for the introduction to the CCAL Cluster Accelerator, Dual Unified Scheduler, and Yuanrong Distributed Parallel Development Framework. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Dan. Please welcome Mr. Dan. Thank you, Xiongyan. Kunpeng plus Ascent, diversified computing power convergence, and full-stack open innovation will enable all device edge cloud scenarios and distributed applications. Together with partners and developers, we will remain open and innovative to continuously develop the computing industry ecosystem. Let the wisdom of all developers come together, create an innovative ecosystem, and usher in a new era of diversified computing. Innovation drives industry development gathers talent, and talent inspires innovation and leads sustainable industry development. Talent development is the foundation of industry development. In developing the computing industry, we have always prioritized talent development. Universities are cradles of talent and are the pioneers of talent development. Working with the universities, we are aligning the industry with studying, researching, and application. We're building a knowledge system that aligns basic theories with industry and market requirements, and combining theories, practices, and applications so as to build a healthy talent ecosystem and keep the industry vibrant. Last year at Huawei Connect, we released Ascent AI processor architecture and programming principles. Today, I'm honored to announce that together with experts and scholars in various fields and Tsinghua University Press, we have published 5 Kunpeng and Ascent textbooks, including MindSpore, Model Arts, Kunpeng processor architecture and programming, Open Euler, and Open Gauss, and also supporting materials. All these are available for students and developers. From the end of this year to next year, we plan to publish more than 20 series of Kunpeng and Ascent textbooks for institutes of higher education. Experts and scholars in various fields are welcome to participate in this initiative. Together with the Ministry of Education and education partners, as well as the Education Steering Committee, we have trained teachers for Kunpeng and Ascent. This year, we plan to select more than 20 universities in China and integrate Kunpeng and Ascent into computer and artificial intelligence majors and conduct the first batch of pilots. Next year, the Ministry of Education and Huawei will establish an intelligent center to align the industry and education to develop talent. That will cover more than 70 institutes of higher education. In the next few years, more than 2,600 universities and vocational colleges will be gradually covered. We will also select some key schools outside China to promote talent development globally. Make Kunpeng and Ascent as mandatory subjects for computer and information and artificial intelligence majors in universities. And last, the most exciting moment, we and the Ministry of Education are going to jointly launch the Intelligence Center, an industry education collaborative education center. Today, Director of the Department of Higher Education of Ministry of Education, Mr. Hao, is also here. That's all.
Director of Department of Higher Education at the Ministry of Education， 有请教育部高等教育司郝杰处长登台。
Distinguished guests and developers, good morning. I'm Hao Jie from the Department of Higher Education of the Ministry of Education. Welcome to Huawei HC 2020. On behalf of the Department of Higher Education of the Ministry of Education, I would like to congratulate Huawei on the successful HC and express our sincere gratitude for your support for universities. In order to train outstanding engineering talent who can adapt to and play a leading role in the technological and industrial revolution, in 2017, the Ministry of Education initiated new engineering disciplines. Over the past 3 years, engineering education in China has undergone profound changes. The Ministry of Education has formulated and issued policies for the new engineering disciplines in areas such as theoretical research, program development, curriculum reforms, organization, and faculty. The Intelligence Center we are announcing today is an important exploration for deepening the cooperation between universities and industry in the new engineering disciplines. We encourage such cooperation between the universities and Huawei and other companies in reforming the curriculum, training the faculty, improving the facilities, and enriching hands-on practices. With this opportunity, I would like to talk about 3 expectations. Based on its strengths, Huawei can contribute to nurturing talent in key fields, including helping universities set up majors relevant to the industry, opening up the industry facilities for teaching purposes, and facilitating talent supply-demand balance. Second, universities can keep an open mind, study the industry frontiers, and renovate the new engineering disciplines with the industry inputs. Universities can build on partnerships with businesses and work on future-proof technologies in order to become world-class center for engineering innovation and talent. Third, Huawei and universities can further explore the mechanism of business-university cooperation, play an exemplary role in developing talent, technology innovation, and industry for a fully connected world. To conclude, I wish our Intelligence Center a great success. I wish we can producing more talent for the intelligent world. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hao, for your speech. Please remain on stage. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Hao, Mr. Deng Taihua, and representatives of universities who are the first to offer courses with Huawei to the stage. Together, they will launch the MOE Huawei Intelligent Foundation. Peking University, Tsinghua University, Renmin University of China, Beijing Jiao Tong University, Beihang University, University of Science and Technology, Beijing, Beijing University of Post and Telecommunications, Fudan University, Shanghai Jiao Tong University, Nanjing University, Suzhou University, Hohai University, Zhejiang University, Hangzhou Dianzi University, University of Science and Technology of China, Ocean University of China, Wuhan University, Huazhong University of Science and Technology, Shenzhen University, Guangdong University of Technology, Southern University of Science and Technology, Southwest Jiao Tong University, University of Electronic Science and Technology of China, Xi'an Jiao Tong University, and Northwestern Polytechnical University. Please, all the guests, hold your hands, and after the countdown, raise the hands to announce the establishment of Intelligence Center. Thank you all. To join me in the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for witnessing this exciting moment with us. Let's join hands to light the lighthouse of the future and elevate talent development to new heights. Thank you all. Please be seated.